and Chris were instantly back in love once we got drunk, and we were out in the hallway kissing each other and saying, "What about Judy?" So the three of us were in their big bed. I just happily climbed right on top of Judy. Christine didn't like that. I wasn't supposed to get so into it. It was smash battles right from the start, though only one major eruption that week. Chris had gone out running, leaving Judy and me in bed, and when she came back, something was going on that, "How come you never fucking do that to me, Judy?" Judy would soon get hers. Christine was an emotional tyrant. Her and I had lived together for a couple of years in New York before she came to Maine, and it took watching the movements of her and Judy's relationship to see just how demanding and impossible she was. I myself was a good-natured cloud which would float by and steal things and wait for praise. I could never understand why life just didn't feel substantial enough. I was sitting on your couch, or we were drinking your whiskey in my apartment. "Now let's go out," I'd say. "Do you have any money?" "I'm broke tonight. I'm really sorry." One night after work, we all went drinking in Bath, Maine. We meant me and Chris, who was breaking out that night, figured it was okay. Sheila wanted to go out with us, and we had to go home and pick up Judy. I guess they all were going to play that night. They had a guy in Bath they played with, Mr. Michael, some kind of architect with a loft. All of Judy's friends were professionals pretending to be artists. Pretty disgusting, yet they had the stuff. Lofts, the cars, houses, etc. They are the mommies and daddies. Usually they're so insipid and have nothing to say, but you get to be fabulous for a while. For me, they're like jobs. I don't think Judy was overwhelmed with love for me. I think I was there to be neutralized. You know, Christine would get drunk and call me, or she'd just talk about me all the time. Okay, let's get this icon and get her on my farm. Things would happen, like one night Judy had her whole collection of mangy men over. Ron, the lumberman, who she was always going clamming with tomorrow, or who was a little weasel who knew all about what, electricity or something? They were all anti-intellectual types who were dying to fuck Judy, and she kept them around for, entertainment and certainly real help. And I think she thought of them as colorful, possibly admirable. They made her think she was countrified. She was a consultant to an environmental outfit. She would go and look at fish factories and come back drunk. Previously, she had been a broker in San Francisco. Now she's some kind of film person in Boston. Judy looks right, and she'll never stop telling you about what kind of good girl school she dropped out of. Her mother's a drunk. She's one of those women who despises her mother and is just like her. So Judy said to Chris once, riding in her car, "I just don't see where Eileen gets off thinking she has the last word on truth." That's what she said. What's funny is I picture her car saying it. You know, one of those shots where the white Datsun is wobbling through the narrow, windy roads of mid-coastal Maine, and the car says, "Thinking she has the last word on truth." Fuck you, Judy. I remember standing in the back of the truck that fateful night, drinking a Bud Light and thinking, this is not going to be perfect. About the night, it looked too perfect. Going with the girls to Bath. Judy and Chris would play with Michael, Judy on bass, Christine on rhythm, Michael on lead. Sheila and me roving through the local bars. Sounds okay, but what? What I was trying to say about Judy and her gross men was that she'd have these smelly, horny guys come over. That night we made a pitcher of strawberry daiquiris with Mount Gay, which I was currently binging on, and once drunk, Chris passed a slip of paper to Judy, which I later learned said, "I want to eat you," how Christine paid her rent. And the two went giggling, stumbling off, leaving me to be game warden to her charming friends. This is why I had been invited to Maine. These guys talked real slow, stopped after each phrase for your girl reaction. The best I could do was an occasional heh. After a while, I just stared at my feet. At work, we dipped these small, or sometimes fairly large, wooden frames into vats of stain. Their destination was the cheap carnivals and beach towns of America. Those mirrors that say Grateful Dead or New York Yankees. After dipping the frames into vats of stain and lining them up in rows of 20 on the sticks overhead, bundling them and putting the plastic tape around each bundle and stacking them in the truck to Chicago or wherever, at the end of the day, I'd be covered from head to foot with brown stain. Dickensian looking, I thought. I usually didn't bother to get the stuff off before I got drunk. With me, sloppy has always been good, meant sexy. But this night we were using this glup. It was tan, looked like bacon fat, and seemed to come in mason jars, but the people I knew bought it in